I was just like, sometimes people are like, I want to see myself, like, and see if, something's out of sorts.
No, this is about as good as she's going to get this morning. No.
Loaded.
Here comes his comment. Maybe time to blow my nose again. I'm just getting over something. I don't know what.
Oh, we can do a healing on that too.
Yeah, I think maybe I was going to say that. I was so dizzy, even my eyes were doing this.
Wow.
Okay. What is happening now? Oh, there we go. We're on.
We're on YouTube now.
It did my nose anyway.
Okay, I'll put the live chat up.
Yeah, I
So
think maybe.
anyways, we're live now,
I was so
and
dizzy. My
um
eyes were doing this.
I just gotta turn that down because that'll drive me nuts.
Yeah.
So we're excited to welcome back Joy Baker with us today, and we're going to do live, and we're going to do some clearings. Well, we're not. She's going to do some clearings and facilitate those for us. So if anybody has anything that they want her to answer or clear, just let us know in the live chat, and then we can let Joy know, and she can work on that for you. So welcome, Joy. We're excited to have you on today.
Hey, it's so great to be back on your show. As you were talking, I could already feel some throat chakra energy coming up. That's why I coughed there. So
Yeah, that makes sense to me. So, do you want to just tell people a little bit about yourself if they're joining for the first time and
sure.
what
Sure,
kind of
yeah.
thing you do?
So I've been on this path of personal and spiritual growth for about 30 years now. Before that, I worked with horses. So my whole life was horses and showed horses, trained and exercised race horses. And that was all. It's interesting because I had no idea how to deal. And it was like dogs sometimes, if they're not socialized around other dogs, they love people, but dogs are like, oh, what's that? I was a little bit like that with humans. So I had to learn how to be around humans and how to interact and such. So it's been an interesting journey. And it was the book, The Celestian Prophecy, that really introduced me to energy healing because I wasn't familiar. Well, I'd never heard of it before. I just started on the path, and it was on reading that book, and I heard about energy fields interacting, and I still remember that moment. It was probably 28, 29 years ago, and it was like everything made sense. And I actually had an appointment after reading that chapter where they're talking about energy fields interacting, and and I had an appointment with my therapist. I was on the way to see him, and I'm like, is that real? Like, does that happen? And then he told me all about chakras and drew a picture and how they all worked and such. And I've been fascinated with energy ever since. And it's to realize that we are connected via energy, and our five senses say everything is separate, but it's not. And to realize that connection is always there. And when you can really understand energy, the more I've understood it, I realize that, all the thoughts, the emotions that come up, especially as an adult, they're not necessarily mine. In fact, I heard one person say 98% of your thoughts and emotions aren't yours. You're picking them up from others because we're a part of this collective consciousness. So that's been my path, just learning about energy, working with energy, and understanding myself as an energy being and what's mine and what's not.
That's very cool. I love that. And I think people are going to get a lot out of this. So can you explain a little bit about what you're going to do and what kind of questions people can ask if they're watching?
Yeah, any kind of questions or concerns. So what I do is emotional and belief clearing. So we'll go, it's not a specific modality that somebody learns. It just, through all the healing and energy work I've done, these gifts developed and awakened. And so we'll go deep into the unconscious conditioning. So let's say somebody's stuck around money, that's a big thing for everybody. It can be money, or why am I stuck in this job that I can't stand and I want to get out so badly, but I feel like I have to stay stuck here. and which may be about money, it might be guilt, all kinds of things. And my guides, they direct me to the emotion, belief, pattern that is, keeping a person stuck. And from there, once we release that, then it's like the energy just flows. And when we just follow the stream of consciousness, and well, depending on how deep we go, if it's just a minute or two, then my guides seem to know, okay, that's how far to go for now. But that's what we do, is we go deep, because 95% of who we are is our unconscious conditioning, thoughts, beliefs, patterns, defaults, loops, all of that. And yeah, basically I've learned through having to trust myself, and that's been quite a process, is trusting myself to, I just get out of my own way and get out of the way. So I'm the physical messenger, but it's all coming from my guides. I just hear them.
Yeah. And if anybody's, we have a couple of people watching now, but if anybody has seen some of your podcasts with us, you've done some of the clearing on our podcast with us, which is amazing. So I will say, definitely, if you want something cleared, let us know in the chat so we can let Joy know. And yeah, because I think it's so nice just to have that clearing. And I guess for myself, so I guess I'll or you start.
You want me to get her to clear me first?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I thought you did. Okay, we talked about a little bit before we were on here, and I've been going through, I don't know if it's been like a flu type symptoms or whatever, but I've been having a lot of dizziness. And so I'm wondering if you can help me to clear whatever it is that's
so
creating that unbalance, I guess would be probably more accurate.
how long has that been happening? Do you recall when it more or less started?
Yeah, it started last week, and it's been probably 8 days now, and I have done taken things out of my diet, and thinking, okay, maybe it was that, maybe it's this, and I'm a little better today, I must admit, because I drove. So I guess it is sort of leaving me, but I'm still feeling a little unbalanced. So maybe you can
Okay.
help clear whatever it is that's still lingering.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. So as you were speaking there, a little bit of anger was coming up, and I can feel that anger now. And okay, so generally being unbalanced like that is you're looking at almost like you're looking at different realities and you're not sure which one to follow. Yeah, there's a part of you that wants to follow. It's like you want to follow a different path, and you're angry because you feel stuck. You want to follow a different path, but you feel like you shouldn't. There's a lot of guilt there. Oh, yeah, there you go. A lot of guilt there. And so it's like you're doing what you believe you should do, which is, the should word, that's guilt. What you should do and behaving how you believe you should. But again, there's another path that, and whether that's building up your, healing business or going on your own or whatever, starting something else in addition, there's, okay, so all the ways there's a part of you that says, I should be, it's almost like I should be the good girl. I should do what I'm supposed to do. And it's like you're having an internal temper tantrum and you're angry about that. But the hold is almost like a hold on you saying, again, I have to be the good girl. I have to follow this path, but this is the path I want to go on. And you're just, okay, all the ways you're stuck and you're angry and frustrated, and yet you feel like you can't follow, whether it's expanding or going on your own or starting offering another service, you feel like you shouldn't. Okay, then there you go. Then we go into the guilt. And there's a guilt coming up because you have desires and wants, and you feel bad about that. This is really deep stuff here. And you feel bad about that. And so it's almost like you don't let yourself even think of that or really consider it. And yet there you go. There's your anger. There's your anger there. Yeah, we just touched it almost. Okay, so I'm going to talk to the anger here because all emotions have consciousness. And so anger, why are you so convinced that Barb, right?
Right.
Okay, I don't want to get you mixed up here. Okay, Barb should stay stuck on her current path or at least not add anything else to it because she needs to behave. Okay, why does she need to continue to behave in the way you've decided she should behave? Well, I'm her mother. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so well, you raised her as a child. You did a good job. She's still here. She's still here on the planet and such. But do you think maybe it's time to give her some wings to fly, to do her own thing? But okay, so then your mom just got really, really sad, like there's tears here. And she's saying, but if I do that, then I failed as a mother. And okay, a lot of grief coming up. Ooh, ooh, that's a lot of grief and sadness there that's coming up. And okay, so Barb's mom, you haven't failed as a mother. In fact, you have succeeded as a mother when you give your daughter wings to fly, to follow her own path. There you go. Your whole self relax. Okay, there's some happiness bubbling up. And okay, so now that feels like a lot of the dizziness was from that. So now let's take a look at your brain. We'll do this for both of you. If you, no, okay, only I thought maybe we'd do it for both of you, but for now, just Barb. And okay, so Barb, let's look at your both sides of your brain and okay, a little bit of tension in your brain. So let's witness that tension. Ask the tension to relax, relax both sides of your brain, and let's see both sides of your brain communicating with each other. There you go. There's some harmony. It's flowing down your body. There you go. I felt your heart and your heart chakra open up. Okay, now all the way down your body and out through your open feet chakras right into the earth so that you are grounded to the earth. You're connected to the heavens and grounded to the earth. There you go. Take a deep breath in. Let go. Okay, that feels pretty good for now.
Very good. Very awesome. You're so accurate. Very good. Very accurate. You touched into it very deeply there. And I can say you're very true to your word with that. Because there has been some stuff with my mother with that too. She's one that likes to hold and control. So this is sort of saying, yeah, it's time to release me and let me do my thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, beautiful.
Awesome. Good.
Thank you.
It'll be interesting to see how you do going forward.
Yeah, definitely. We have 3 people watching. We do have one girl. She didn't actually ask for anything yet, but her name is Jacqueline, and she said, "Hello, my first time here, loving the energy in this live." So
Ah, nice.
just thought
Very
I'd
nice.
let you know that
Oh.
she did say that, and I did tell
Hi,
her.
Jacqueline.
Everybody
I'm
else.
not seeing the messages for some reason, but that's okay. I was just going to take a look. So yeah, if you have any, and Kim, did you want some clearing or if we don't have any questions yet? Oh, you
Um,
asked me. So like I started to say questions about money, but relationships, especially if you give me the other person's name, I can see what's going on between them. Relationships, money, career, whatever, anything that you feel like you're stuck, anywhere you feel you're stuck, or
okay.
like you, Barb.
Well, I'll let Jacqueline go because she's actually asking some stuff now. So she said, "Thank you. I recently quit my job and am having some issues with being seen now and expanding myself to where I need to go."
Okay. There was a little flash of anger, but then your throat chakra is uh yeah, you feel oppressed and your throat chakra is closed. So the last part of it, quit her job and she's figuring out where to like what direction to go in now.
I think so, because she just said she's having some issues with being seen now and expanding myself to where I need to go.
Okay. So there wasn't really a specific question there. So let's see where we're going to go. Okay. Yeah, you're very stuck, and that throat chakra issue is coming up again. So the throat, let's see where you're connected, Jacqueline. Throat to this is you. Okay, so the throat chakra for you, Jacqueline, is connected to your sacral chakra, and in this case, you feel worthless. And okay, and as I say that, there's anger coming up. So there's both there's a part of you that feels worthless, like no worth, and yet you're angry about that. And so you're not angry about feeling worthless, you're angry about people in society that have caused you to feel worthless and that you're still stuck in that. So what you're doing is deflecting the power within you, the divine power within you, and blaming others. It's very subtle. I'm not saying you're doing that consciously. You may not even be aware of that, but you're blaming others for feeling worthless. And I know I definitely went through this when on my path of taking back my power, blaming others, society, parents, whoever it was for feeling worthless. And once I stopped that and took my power back, things started to change. Okay, Jacqueline, now there's anger coming up, and anger, flash of anger, but now there's grief, and a lot of grief. And you're saying, but I don't want to take my power back. And divine power, like, yeah, you just don't want to take your power back. And okay, Jacqueline, all the ways you believe that you're bad, if you take your power back, if you feel empowered and confident and good about yourself, your conditioning tells you that you're bad. There you go. Let's witness that, honor that, and just let that go. There you go. Okay. Whoa, just like anger kind of exploded. It was like fireworks exploded from you there, Jacqueline. And okay, so just breathe. Just breathe. There you go. Okay, so now, Jacqueline, there's some fear, and because see, once you stop blaming others, once we stop blaming others and take our power back, then there's no excuses. And when we can use the excuse that, well, they said that society's going through this, that what having problems with that organization, whatever it is, then we can blame somebody else for, the excuses. And they might be very, legit, real things that are happening. But ultimately, it's designed to disempower us so that we feel stuck. And now, Jacqueline, that you're taking your power back, fear and anxiety is coming up. Now, what's coming up is you're saying, oh my gosh, I can't do it. I can't do it. And that loops in your unconscious mind. And then as you say that, then that's when your throat chakra really shuts down. And so now you're going to, oh, I can't speak up anyways. Nobody wants to hear my truth. And okay, so all the ways you are, Jacqueline, and anybody else who wants some clearing on this, all the ways you are sabotaging yourself, because as much as you want to move forward, be seen and heard and witnessed, there's a part of you that feels safe playing small and hidden. There you go. There, your whole self relax. Okay, there's a bit of happiness bubbling up. Okay, so that feels complete for now. Thank you for that question, Jacqueline. Just realized why I can't see the chat because I'm on Zoom and you guys are on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
This whole techie stuff confuses me.
I know it's like you just got to have the perfect kind of setup with it, but it's a learning thing. Every day I'm learning new things with this whole technical stuff. So okay, well thank you for doing that for Jacqueline. And uh anybody else want to put anything in the chat that they would like cleared, or I'm going to take my turn.
And also, Jacqueline, let us know how you feel now so that we can relay that back to where it needs to go here so she can see that she's doing what she needs to do for Joy. Thank you.
Yeah, she said, thank you. That very much resonates and feels good. So glad I am here today. Thank you, everyone.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jacqueline, for that.
Yes, exactly. So I guess not, since nobody else has put one in, I will say mine then. So yes, and I know we talked a little bit off screen before we started this, but basically I would like to do something else in my career, and I feel like I'm very stuck because of course there's always that money issue to be able to jump into something new, and my spiritual business that I'm trying to get going doesn't seem to be making any track. So I don't know if I'm just on the wrong route or what is holding me back to be able to go forward with this.
Okay, so now you also mentioned earlier about wanting to leave your job. Is that part of it?
That's
And
part of it.
okay, so a lot of anger coming up as you were talking, a huge amount of anger, and it's all around your chest area, just in front of your chest area. It's like a big ball of anger. And uh, are you on the right path? Let's start there. That's kind of neutral. And okay, so now what's coming in as a job, you're really frustrated with that. And I'm sure that's a lot of the source of the anger in front of your heart chakra. So the job is blocking the progress of your business because you dislike the job so much. It feels very powerful dislike. You dislike the job so much that that's blocking when you do your healing work, the heart energy. Because you still, if you're working a full-time job, you have to make that transition to, to the heart energy and the higher consciousness. And it can be done, but it takes time and effort and there you go. So the job is the biggest stumbling block right now. And how much, Kim, do you need that job financially to, like, is it an absolute need? I mean, we all need to make money. We all
Yeah.
need to bring money
Yeah,
in.
it
So
is
it's
at this
absolute need.
point it's an absolute need. So that is some of it, right? Because that kind of holds back from being able to just be able to say, no, I'm just going to go do my thing. If things started picking up in my own business, I could maybe look at some alternatives then.
Okay, so making money in your business. So you work one-on-one with clients as well, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and so that's really what you want to pick up is the one-on-one, the paid sessions.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh,
In the box.
so two things. First of all, with a job, like to go from a job that you just can't stand, that's, very, or just don't like, or you're bored at, that's a heavy energy. And then to go to something that's your passion, it's what you're looking for is a continuation of energy. So figure out all the good things about, take some time and figure out everything you do like about that job or you appreciate about the job. One is a paycheck, that's, you appreciate that one and appreciate maybe any colleagues you get along with or anything like that. Maybe it's a short commute or it's flexibility, anything like that, because that's a higher consciousness. And then you can create a flow from your job to your business. And so that's the first thing I would look at. And now imagine getting more paying clients. Okay, a little bit of anger came up there. But then all the ways you don't feel worthy of having more paying clients and all the ways you believe you need to wait until you leave the job before you have more paying clients. The reason you want to wait is because then you believe and feel you can fully immerse yourself in the energy of healing and higher consciousness and awareness and such. And then you feel more worthy of having paying clients. And so you're kind of putting that on hold, but you're in a bind there. You need the money to leave the job. So start with appreciating everything you can at the job and create that energy, and then it flows into your healing business. And there you go. Now imagine getting more paying clients. Okay, so what comes in is, how would I find the time? Is your job full-time, 5 days a week?
Well, we flex, so that is a very positive thing about so I
Okay.
work 4 days a week, so.
Okay, so, okay, so see more paying clients coming in, but I'm seeing a disconnect between the paying clients and how are you getting like marketing yourself and getting the word out there? Like, do you go on shows like I'm doing right now or podcasts?
Well,
No.
we've been on a few, but I don't, and I think, and we actually just had this conversation the other day, Mom and I was like, I feel like we need to promote more of our business because we
Right.
promote the podcast a lot, but we don't
Promote ourselves.
promote ourselves as much.
Mhm.
So no, I haven't been marketing myself very well as far as, this is what I do and this is what I'm offering. I've been trying to do that a little bit when I do some different stuff with the podcast to throw that in there. But no, I haven't done that. So that's part of it. And you were exactly right because I do feel a disconnect and I do feel a disconnect between my higher consciousness. So I think that too is blocking me because I don't feel like if I was to do a personal healing on someone that I would show up the way that I should.
Okay, so thank you for sharing that. So yeah, it feels like you both need to, like, this is promoting your podcast, which is awesome. And thank you for, having me on again and especially live this time. But it feels like you both could go on shows separately and just, talk about, what you do and, anything else. And then you can promote yourself in that way. Okay, a little bit of anger came up, more so, I would say more from Kim, not from you, Barb. And the anger is a little bit like we had with Jacqueline there, wanting to not wanting to stay stuck because it's safer. The podcast, you've been doing that for a while, it's safe, but and you guys do it as a team, but going on a show on your own, which you're ready for and you have no problems with that, but it clears the path of excuses. And excuses or reasons, and they might be very, legit reasons, but it clears a path and there's a part of you. Okay, so I said that, clear the path. Your whole self relaxed and your heart opened up, and there's some happiness. There you go.
Nice.
Okay.
There's somebody else online here too. Robert's
Thank you.
here. He says, hi, thank you for having me. And he says, can I get help with moving forward spiritually? Hi, Robert.
Yes, but you're not quite done yet. You're like how you both kind of deflected that right at the end there. We weren't quite.
Sorry.
So, and that was Rob, right? Was it Rob?
Yeah, Robert.
So, okay, so, yeah, Robert, we'll get to you. We'll get to you, but I just want to finish up here. So, any resistance to you, both of you, because you both kind of deflected there, any resistance to going on your own? So you're working as a team building the podcast, but then going on your own and promoting yourself and marketing yourself and building up your clientele. Let's honor and acknowledge that. Yes, resistance, any self-sabotage, let's just let that go. There you go, your third eye, both of you, your third eye's opened up there. Okay. So now let's go back to, was it,
Thank you.
Thank you so
Robert, what
much.
did
I
Robert-
appreciate that.
what did Robert have to say there?
He said, go ahead.
He said, hi, thank you for having me, first off. And then he said, can I help you, or can you help with moving me forward with spiritually?
Robert, you actually feel quite evolved, but you don't believe it. And okay, so there's some anxiety coming up. And okay, so here's what it is. So you're afraid that if you really believed how spiritually evolved you are and how grounded you are in that you wouldn't fit in. So there's a bit of a conflict within you, wanting to be even more spiritually evolved and ascended and spiritually aware. And yet, if there's a part of you saying, if I'm too at one with that spiritual awareness and ascension, then I won't fit into this world any longer. And then you say it's tough enough to live in this world without feeling like I don't fit in here at all. There you go. There, your whole self relaxed. Okay, so now I heard you say, Robert, okay, so how do I get past that? So give yourself permission to feel and notice and recognize just how self-aware you are, how ascended and evolved you are, and how spiritually aware you are. Just imagine that. Let yourself feel that. Let your whole self feel that. Now, imagine looking around at the room, at the world, and you're still of the world. So you still fit in, you still belong in the world. Okay, there's some grief coming up and some deeper stuff. And now you're saying, but what if people see me as, well, there's conflict here. Yeah, actually, what if people see me as different? And what if they don't see me as different? They just see me as another person walking down the street or interacting with the world. And so this is really about, feels, Robert, like you trying to figure out at your core, it's like, who am I? How do I want to interact with the world? How do I want to be treated? How do I want to treat others? Really figuring out your place in the world. There you go, your whole self relax. Okay, there's some happiness in your heart. Your heart chakra just opened up there, Robert. So you feel very spiritually evolved already. It's more trusting that and knowing, like, as you trust that and you feel that and you believe in that, knowing that you're still part of this world. And there are conversations you won't be able to have with people, and you know, you use words and such higher consciousness words, and they might not understand it. But eventually, as you be your true self, as you let that divine light, that presence shine from you, you will attract, you will align with people who are more highly evolved, such as yourself, and more, you know, more self-awareness. There you go. There, your whole self relaxed. Okay. There's some happiness bubbling up. Okay. Well, that feels pretty good there.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
If you could just let us know how that was for you, Robert, that would be great. We can let Joy know. So, but this is awesome. I feel like, and I like it because with everybody's clearing, I feel like even myself, I'm just getting more and more clear and feeling more relaxed because just probably stuff within myself that I didn't even realize that
Mhm.
you're touching on with
Yeah,
these different things.
awakening. Yeah, awakening.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this. Something like this, doing a call like this and clearing for one person, where, you know, we all receive it because we're all part of the collective consciousness. So we're all receiving it. So yeah, that's awesome.
Robert said thank you, and Jacqueline said that was so beautiful. So everybody is really enjoying it. So
Beautiful. And Jacqueline sent some hearts up too.
Okay.
That was so nice. Thanks, Jacqueline.
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anybody else, there's still a couple people watching. So if anybody would like it that hasn't yet said something, please let us know. If not, then we'll let you do do whatever it is that you want to do.
There were some questions on that, uh, the short you put out before the show.
Mhm.
Do you remember what they were?
I probably have them.
Is there areas that I can touch on? I mean, be general, but I remember because they kind of,
Sure.
yeah.
One was wanting more abundance.
Okay, let's go to the earlier ones first.
Okay.
Yeah.
One was how do I break free of never having enough money?
Okay, that's a good one. Oh, there you go. Okay, so how do I break free of never having enough money? First of all, you have to have some kind of a vision. if you don't really want to be here, or if you have you're just kind of going through the motions of every day, then your money is stuck. Like you're just trying to make enough money. You're thinking you're in survival mode. So if you're feeling like you never have enough money, you actually want to have a vision of more, of what like a passion is, or what maybe it's traveling and that sense of freedom. Maybe it's being able to quit your job and start your business. Maybe it's, whatever it is, getting into a relationship. So I want to have more money, because that creates the desire within you. And then, which will cause a person to look at something deeper. And let's say you feel like you're never having enough money, and there's a part of you saying, how can I want more when I feel like I never have enough money? That awakens a passion within you. It brings up deeper stuff, such as, okay, so first thing that's coming up is, well, I have to make more money. And that caused you to look at worth and value. And because I went bankrupt twice, the reason for that, now that I'm understanding it more and more, is I just felt so worthless that I didn't believe I could make enough money to just get by. And as a result, I went through the 2 bankruptcies. Now, because I believe in myself and my worth, that wouldn't happen. But so if you're not making enough money uh, to be able to dream, to desire more, then take a look at that and what you need to do, whether you need to get another job, whether you're a different job, maybe you need to, or, in your case, Kim, attracting more paying clients and such. And so the feeling not having enough money, and there's a difference between feeling like you never have enough money, and that can come from not enough, that core belief, and actually not having enough money. And then you want to look at your worth there. But I would start with a vision, because when you have a passion for something else, it opens up your heart. And what happens is that energy goes out and attaches to something greater. So instead of just looping, why don't I ever have enough money? Why am I always running out of money? Instead of looping, the energy flows out to something greater, to a passion. And then your mind will start to come up with solutions. Well, this is my desire. I want to travel. I want to feel that freedom. I want to get a dog, whatever it is that costs money. And then your mind will say, okay, well, this is my desire. Let's figure that out. And then it might be you might have to go really, really deep, yes, into feeling worthy, valuing yourself, appreciating yourself, and really recognizing your abilities and skills.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I do try to not say we don't have enough money, and I think I've got my husband on the same path as me, but because I just think that right when you're putting that out into the universe, I really do believe that, when that's what you're putting out, you're getting that back, and I don't want that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, if you say it's like it's never enough, or we never have enough money, exactly, that's what you're going to manifest. It's like your words are, you're sending an intention out to the universe, and the universe is saying, oh, okay, you never have enough money. Well, that's what you want. Well, we'll make sure you feel like you never have enough money, or even you run out once in a while. So, I mean, it's so important to pay attention to your words, and having some kind of a passion or a desire. That's what you're sending out to the universe. And so the universe will say, your guides, the universe, the archangels, the masters will say, okay, well, that's their passion. Let's support them by coming up with solutions. And if you're saying, I want to have more money, then, well, money is a means to an end. So it's not the money itself, that's simply energy. So you want to know what you want to have that money for. And it might be, I want to put in, investments. So, for retirement and such. But then also for, have put part of it away for the now. I also want to have it for this. And then your mind and the universe will work with you to come up with solutions. So yeah, if you're saying, we never have enough money. And I used to say that it's never enough. And especially at the beginning when I started out, you're just like the clients are just occasional and such. And it felt like it was never enough. And that's just going to cause struggle.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. have to shift that. Jacqueline did say she agreed. She too feels the healing and clearing from everyone and some resonance from everyone's clearings. So
Awesome.
everybody's picking up on it, which is great.
It
So
is
actually,
beautiful.
it's funny that you should say that because I started doing this thing. I was listening to Mel Robbins' podcast, and she gave these 8 things to say every day. So I've been actually saying them. And so one of the things that I've been saying is something cool is going to happen to me today. And I have to tell you, since I started saying it, I won a contest, a little wellness package. I won a book. I found a piece of paper on the floor in the bathroom that was shaped like a heart. So all these really cool things are happening to me. So amongst everything else, it's like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd share that because I just like just the power of words, right? And so just speaking those every day is, yeah, it's working for me anyways.
I love that, and I love hearing stories about that. I've done one of the sessions I offer is called a freedom clearing. It's just done by your picture, and it's one of my shorter sessions. It's 25 to 30 minutes, and I send you the recording. And I've had, I don't know why, but several people who, whether they tell me before or not, that it's just increased financial abundance, or I think one or two have said we're actually looking for a house. And probably 4 or 5 of them after that, little 30-minute freedom clearing have gone on to buy a house or to find the money and buy a house or get approved for a mortgage, different things like that. And it's amazing how when we release the stuckness and change our language, what can happen in our lives. Yeah, language is an energy, and we either create what's happening in your life or well, we'll create what's happening in your life, whether that's something you don't want or something you do want. So if anybody's feeling stuck right now, take a look at your language, and empowering questions or statements like that, or empowering questions and that's why having the vision, if you feel like you're always, short on money or running out of money or there's never enough, that's why having a vision, a passion is so important, because you can start asking yourself empowering questions so you can find the solution.
I love that. Thank you. And
Mhm.
Jacqueline said she loved it as well. And thank you for sharing. So you're welcome, Jacqueline, because I think these messages, like from yourself and from us, and just things that you learn as you're going along on this human journey that we're doing, are, and that was one of the things that I've learned just from talking to people and listening to people is really about watching what you're saying. And, I even say that to my granddaughter now when she's going to work. She's like, oh, I don't want to go to work. I'm like, yes, but you get, look at all these things that you get because you're making this money. And I'm like, today is going to be a great day.
So make
She's
it.
like, I'm like, today is going to be a great day. And she'll come home from work and then she says, well, it was a pretty good day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that it is a lot of fun to watch with that. So, okay.
Oh, something I'm finding too lately with me too is speaking my truth and accepting the fact that my truth is exactly what I need to do. And that has given me such a clearness and allowing me to have a full heart with that because it's not holding back anymore. And I find that if everybody could do that, say what you're thinking, and I'm not saying say it to the point where you're going to hurt somebody's feelings if you can help that, but say what you're thinking so that you can release that, and it helps you to just feel full that day because you are releasing and letting go. So anyway, just wanted to add that too. 'Cause-
Yeah, that's a good point. I always say, like, look at your intention. Yeah, say your truth. As long as your intention is to speak your truth, to be honest, to be authentic, to be upfront, it comes from your heart. It comes from your higher self. Then speak your truth. The intention, two people can say the same words, but if one person's intention is to hurt another or to cause them grief or to bring them down, that's very different than somebody who says the same words, but it's from their heart and it's
Right.
genuine and they want to uplift that person. And that's really more, like the empath narcissist relationship. Because often a narcissist will use exactly the same words as an empath, but their intention is very different. A narcissist is all about themselves, making themselves look good, where an empath is about, they're concerned about the other person, supporting them and uplifting them.
Mhm.
And yeah, so words are interesting, but when you look at your intention, what's my intention behind saying this? Well, it's like setting boundaries. Yeah, a lot, you set boundaries. It's not about the other person or hurting the other person. It's about I'm taking my power back and I'm taking action. And these are my boundaries. You can't make me into your doormat any longer, or just, doing whatever you want for you without yeah, so words are so important in your intention behind them.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, maybe we'll do one more quick one because we're coming to the end here, but I think this is probably one that some people will want to know. What can I do to improve this relationship?
Okay. I would start, because I don't know, I mean, it's a general question. I don't know there's specific people. Start with appreciation. And this is actually an exercise I'll give to people who are in relationships, is if you're in a relation, if the other person is willing, then both every day send each other email, or if you're living together, write in a book one thing you appreciate about that person, especially if it's a romantic relationship and they're living together. If you, after a week, a month, a year of every day writing in the book something you appreciate about that person, and something they appreciate about you, anytime there's arguments or tense moments, you can go back to that and go, oh, that's what they appreciate in me. That's what I appreciate about this person. And now, if the other person isn't willing, it's just a really intense relationship, or they just don't see your point of view. Now it depends, you can't be stuck in right or wrong or anything like that. But if you really want to create harmony in that relationship, or at least let go of the tension, just take a deep breath in, let yourself be filled up with that life force energy, and put your focus on your heart and your heart chakra. Just breathe into that. And now send them a puff or a flow, or even just a little puff of grace, of beauty, of appreciation, and let it go. And that's if you're in a relationship with somebody, like often it's parents and kids, and the kids are angry or upset, especially teenagers. I have some parents dealing with teenagers now that experience. And if you can get out of your own hurt and upset, now sometimes it might mean doing some inner work there, but if you can appreciate that person and want the best for them, and just breathe and do that little, just a puff of grace, of beauty from your heart. Do that every, a few times a day, as many times as you want during the day. Do it several days, weeks in a row, because that releases a tension between two people, and the other person will feel that. It's very subtly, but there have been so many people who they come back and say, wow, this person all of a sudden said that, or they called me up, or it's amazing how relationships can change. But if two people are stuck in, especially that right and wrong dynamic, that's a structure, and it keeps everything stuck. And it keeps us separated. And when we're separated, like there's a lot of that happening in humanity now, especially globally. And it's designed as a way to weaken us as humanity, because when we're separated, we're weakened. And if we can simply just let go of that, let go of the hurt, the need to be right, or to make the other person wrong, or to feel wrong, and simply just send them blessings, the little puffs of grace and beauty, all that relaxes. And the other person will either there start to see things, your way, you have a great conversation, or, let's agree to disagree, but still be friends, or whatever it is, but the relationship will change.
I love
Beautiful.
that.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a
And
good
it's-
thing for people to know.
And it makes a lot of sense too, right?
Mhm.
Good energy creates good energy,
Yeah.
right? Very good.
We'll see. I sent it to my husband, so we'll see when he comes home. Be like, did you just like get thinking about me around lunchtime? Or he'll say it to me, right?
Yeah,
There's this thing, like you just popped into my mind around lunch. I know.
It's funny.
So, no, we really appreciate you being on here with us. Was there anything else that you wanted to do or before?
I can do a group meditation and then like just, something for all of us. But I was going to say anybody who wants a free ebook, it's good. It's a Messages from Spirit ebook. So it's written, several written messages, and there's also some MP3s in there. Go to my website, courageinaction.com, and you can get it from there. And it's, there's a lot of passages on there. It's Messages from Spirit.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I can do this. Let's see where we're at. So just take a deep breath in. Let that go. Hey, there's some grief coming up. Grief and sadness. And that is it's actually about loss. You feel like you've lost so much in life, especially the past 5 years. There's been so many changes for us as a, global humanity, and also a lot of loss, like people actually leaving the earth, passing, and also changes in relationships and realizing what's important to you and what's not. So there's a lot of grief coming up around loss. So let's honor that and honor and acknowledge and respect the losses you've experienced in your life, and especially recently. There you go. Let's witness that grief and the sadness that you're feeling right now. Okay, little bit of anger in there, mostly sadness and grief, but you're a little bit stuck in there. And whether you've been acknowledging the sadness and grief or not, you've been stuck in there. So all the ways this has been stuck within you and preventing you from moving forward and taking action and feeling good about taking that action. Let's acknowledge that. And yes, sadness and grief, we see you, and we see you have been there as a result of the loss. But now let's release you, release the heaviness of you and the stagnant energy of you. There you go. There's some flow within you again. There, your whole self just felt lighter there. There's a bit of happiness bubbling up. See, now it's like you can look out, whether with your eyes open or closed. You can look out and see what's possible and see what's in front of you. And there's a little bit of fear and anxiety, and that's okay. That simply means you are moving forward. You're taking action. You're seeing something greater. So let's witness that. There you go. There, your whole self relax. Okay, just felt that activate your solar plexus. So you're starting to take your power back, your divine power. So let's awaken that divine power within all of you so that every cell of your being aligns and resonates with divine power and divine presence. And you feel filled up, every cell of your being, with divine presence. Your feet chakras are open and you ground into that. Your crown chakra is open. You are connected to the spiritual world, to your guides. Trust yourself, hear messages, witness guidance. There you go. There's some fun and laughter, and there's a child that just showed up. Awesome. So let's merge your adult self and your child so that you're whole and complete, grounded, feeling empowered, confident, feeling good about yourself. Take a deep breath in. Let that go. Sushukabasa wala sushoko babaka, sushukabasa wala ka, wala sushoko babaka, sushukabasa wala ka, sushukabasa tukabase, sushukabasa wala ka, wala sushukabasa wala ka. There you go. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you
Namaste,
so
thank
much.
you.
That was beautiful.
Yes, it really was.
I could feel myself getting teary and
Yes.
like, you know, kind of
Namaste.
opening up, and it was just like, oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah. Shivery.
Angel chills. Well, we really appreciate you being on with us today, and
Taking the time for it.
thank you everybody who joined us and asked questions and let us know how you were feeling. We really do appreciate that. So, do you want to tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, my website, so courageinaction.com, and that's where they can get their free ebook. And also you might want to go to if you want more clearing, go to my YouTube. It's at courageinaction.com, and I'll post clearings on there and just or talk about different things like we talked about relationships and that. So there's several videos there that they can watch as well.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
I will put those in the show notes for the replay for whoever watches it once we've done this. So thank you so much for being with us. We always love having you on because you have such an amazing energy
You
about
really do. You really do. You really do see a sense in everyone, the clarity in everyone. And thank you, everyone that joined us today. I hope you got what you needed today from Joy. We certainly have.
Yes.
So,
Well, thank you for having me on your show again.
All right. And everybody else, we will see you on our next one.
you bet you will.